If you want your guests to utter the words that were so them when they leave your wedding, stay tuned because today I'm sharing some amazing tips on how you can add personality into your wedding. Hi, I'm Ria, wedding designer and stylist, and I love helping couples like you have fun while you plan your wedding. So guys, today I'm going to be sharing 8 amazing ideas to help you add your personalities into your day. The reason that you might want to do this is because every wedding is made up of 2 different people, so you need to showcase what you're all about, what makes you so great as a couple. These are the kind of things that are very personal to you that help tell your love story, and the reason for putting more of that into your wedding is so that it's different to somebody else's wedding that you've just been to, because we can all go on Pinterest and look for inspiration, but that's somebody else's wedding. It might look nice, but it might not mean anything to you. So we need to be really intentional about the things we choose in all the different areas so that it actually makes the wedding feel like you. This is going to make your guests walk away and say, oh my God, that was so them. You know, they did that and that was so them because of this. They know your history, a lot of your family and a lot of your friends, they've been there forever. So you need to make sure you tell that love story in your own way. And I get so excited about this because this is the kind of stuff that just makes your wedding go to the next level. So if you choose things that really relate to you both, then I can guarantee you're going to get more out of the whole experience when it comes to planning your wedding, as well as enjoying the day, because it's just going to feel so true to you. My advice is to listen to the tips and see where you could add in some more personality, and the more things you add in, the better it's going to be. So let's dive into it. So the first idea what you could do to add in personality is to write your own wedding vows. Now this has become increasingly popular with couples, and I can really see why, because it really does add that personal special touch that has a lot more meaning. So basically it's a great place to talk about how you feel about each other, and this gives your guests a real insight to what you're like as people, because obviously what you say they will be really listening to, and you know they'll start to pick up on your love story. So you know you might want to be really deep and meaningful, or you might want to add like a little bit of humor in there. This goes for the speeches as well. I think you know they both go hand in hand. What you actually say to your guests and how you sort of present yourself will obviously add lots of personality in, because you're getting across what you're like as people and what you're like as a couple. So the second idea is to incorporate your hobbies and your interests. Things that you particularly do together would be more impactful, because obviously it's you as a couple that you want to shine through. So obviously you could use your individual hobbies, but I definitely think that including things that you do together is more like something to focus on. It might be something really simple, you know, it doesn't have to be elaborate. It's just what you enjoy doing at the weekend. You could do like a sport together, or you might go dancing together. You might like going to the movies once a month, have like a date night set up, and you might love watching films, or you might like baking with each other at the weekend as well. So it really is like very personal to you, and it's just taking those ideas and thinking how could we add that into the wedding. So obviously like if you liked baking like together, you could maybe make some cookies for your wedding favours, for example. Say you loved watching films and going to the movies, you could base your table names around your favourite films and put those titles as table names instead of numbers. It's just about thinking how you can add stuff in that represents you as a couple and the things that you enjoy doing. So the third idea to add in some personality is to add in your favourite quotes. We all have them. There's not a day that goes by that I don't quote a line out of a movie. We all have them. So whether it's a film you love and it's quotes out of that, you could like scatter quotes around your tables for your guests to read. They could be your table names instead of numbers, or you could have like a big sign made of it, and it could be like to display something like your cake, or it could be on a welcome sign, or just a sign dotted around for decoration. So it's just thinking about what are the things that you like, and you might have a saying you say to each other all the time. You might love a certain poem, or it could be some song lyrics or a song title. You know, just think about what you say to each other all the time, and that could be made into something really unique and special that nobody else will have, because it's so personal to you. I think this is one of the best ideas to add personality, because we all have those things that we say to each other, making your wedding more personal. So definitely dive deep into the things that you say. Just start noticing things that you say to each other all the time and keep note of it. And obviously I offer a bespoke design service when it comes to signage. So if you would like something made, then just drop me a message, and obviously we can sort that out for you. Fourth idea, what you could do to bring some more personality into your wedding is to choose the food you absolutely love eating. Like, it's a no-brainer when you think about it, really. Sometimes when it comes to your wedding breakfast, it's so easy to think, oh, we've got to have something really special and, you know, fancy. And it depends what you class as fancy. But obviously sometimes we think, oh, we've got to spend a lot of money on the food because our guests, you know, we need to impress them. But what will impress your guests more if you just pick food that is really, really yummy? It is that simple. Like picking the food that you love to eat all the time. You can have something different, but if you love eating street food, or you love eating chips, or you love eating kebabs or burgers, then don't feel that just because it's a wedding you have to steer away from that. That is what makes you you. So think about the restaurants you like going to, like at the weekends when you're celebrating something. Where do you tend to go? You know, what is your favourite stuff? If it's pub food, then have pub food. But maybe take it up a notch if you feel that it needs to be extra special. But your guests are going to walk away from your wedding and they are going to be commenting about the food. So you need to get this right, and it needs to align with who you are as people and what you enjoy eating, because the food, let's face it, it costs quite a chunk of money. You know, you want to look forward to eating it. You're like, oh, I can't wait to have the wedding breakfast. If you watched my other video, I'll link it here, what our guests raved about, the food was at the top. Like, the food our guests absolutely raved about, and it was because we had food we knew everybody would really enjoy, and we had a selection of food, which makes a huge difference if it's not just a plate of food put in front of them that you've chosen for everybody. If they have a selection, they can get what they want. So I would highly recommend doing that. So just think about that when you're thinking of what you're going to eat for your wedding breakfast. Is what do you enjoy eating? What do you think your guests are going to enjoy? And choose that. So the fifth idea for adding in some personality has got a lot to do with your drinks. So your drinks you can also make really personal by adding in maybe like a signature drink of yours. So if you're big into your alcohol or your cocktails, then this is where you could add in like your favorite tipple, and you know, you can put it at the bar so that your guests can either help themselves or they can choose it. So, and then they get to try something that you love, and you know, it's adding in that personality again. You might even decide to have like a pre-wedding drinks party, like before the wedding day. If this is something that you would normally do, like when there's a celebration, like add that in, like the day before your wedding, have pre-party drinks for certain guests to join you. So it's all about just thinking about what you would normally do when there's a celebration and like bringing that into your wedding. So the sixth idea for adding in some more personality is to choose music that you absolutely love. So obviously it's important to think about what your guests are going to enjoy as well. But I'm sure that if you think about it, a lot of the music that you love together is probably like widely enjoyed by most of your guests. So making sure that your playlist, whether you're doing it yourselves or you're having a DJ, like kind of like reflects the kind of mood you want, as well as, you know, adding in the stuff you really enjoy together. So what is it that you're going to get up and dance to when it comes to the evening reception, so that you can all enjoy yourselves to the max? It might be like an album you bought together that you want to put some songs from that on it. It might be a concert you went to in the past together, like when you were first dating, and you want to play some songs from that, just making it more meaningful. You know, it might be when you was on holiday and you heard a particular song. It could be, you know, traveling along in the car and it comes on the radio and you just were singing along to it, and that was like a memorable moment. So it's just thinking back, jogging your memory of all these different things that could help you add in a bit more personality with the music. Sometimes you just think, oh, the music's the music, but it's definitely where you could just add in some more personality. So the seventh idea is to add your personalities into your aesthetics. So everything visually is a representation of you. So when it comes to your colours and your decorations, they are going to visually represent what kind of couple you are. So for example, if you're like a very energetic and bubbly couple and very lively, then you might want to pick like happy, bright colours to represent your personalities. If you are more kind of like laid back and chilled, then you obviously might want to choose neutrals or pastel colours to again represent your personalities, what you're like. It helps set the tone. So, and this goes for the decorations as well, like all the decorations that you put on the table. If, like, for example, you like a lot of romance in your relationship, you might opt for a lot of twinkle lights, or you might opt for lots of candles to again set that mood. It's what you're all about. So the visuals really do have a lot of power in them to help you add in that personality that, you know, makes you such a great couple. So the last idea is to use transport to add in your personalities. Instead of going down the traditional route and using like a fancy car or something, you might decide to turn up by a different means. So this could be your relatives work on the land and you'd like to use their tractor to arrive. So you might decide to do that. You might have a cool relative that has a motorbike and you would love to arrive on the motorbike. Something a little bit different. And, you know, it's just really thinking about what you would do anyway and what you would love to do that's different on your wedding day. So this goes for like leaving in style as well. You might decide to hire a camper van if you are traveling around the country for your honeymoon and you want to hire the camper van for arriving and leaving. So there's lots of things that you could do. Again, it's just making it personal to you. And, you know, again, it adds in more personality. Instead of having what everyone else has, have something different so that it stands out and makes everybody go, oh my God, that is so them. I really hope that you have found these ideas super useful to help you add in more of your personalities. And the more things that you add in that are personal to you, that's where the magic is. That is where your wedding is going to be not like any other wedding. It's going to be totally different and unique. And obviously for your guests, it's giving them an insight into what you're really like as a couple, and they'll walk away from your wedding and it will definitely be more memorable, and they'll be reminiscing about your wedding in years to come because there'll be those standout things that you decided to include. I'll keep on like reminding you about them, and that is basically what it's all about. If you have enjoyed today's video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel to be notified of any new videos that go live. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.